Ladies and gentlemen, you know what it is. Hip Hop Mike for Hip Hop Mike Convos out here in Los Angeles. And I'm at the best place ever. I mean, this couch is so comfortable. I wish they would let me sleep in here. $4,000, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, this is the most expensive couch anybody's ever been interviewed on. We're doing it bigger than Between Two Ferns in this bit. And I am at Savant Limited in downtown Los Angeles. You can check them out on Instagram. But Savant Limited has a majestic array of couches and furniture and art and just everything. It's an amazing place, and I had an amazing time. I'm doing a bunch of interviews today. I have some great guests from the film background to the music background, fashion. I mean, the list goes on and on. We're gonna talk to a bunch of people on this luxurious furniture. I'm gonna try not to damage anything because I personally can't afford anything. But you know I got style and I eat really good quality food. Like, I have the best cookies in the game, and I also enjoy truffles. And I will say that this couch is as luxurious as the best truffle I've ever had. I definitely want to come back and buy some furniture once these interviews go viral and we make some money. So if you got money, come on down to Savant Unlimited in downtown Los Angeles, buy one of these couches, buy two of these couches, matter of fact, furnish your whole home here, all right? And that being said, I got some people to talk to. Let's get to the interview. Shout out to Savant Unlimited. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what it is. Hip Hop Mike Convos here from Savant Unlimited in Los Angeles, California. I'm enjoying the weather, and I also enjoyed a movie this morning. Well, most of a movie, I'm gonna be honest. After the Rain is out now, I have Geo, Rene, and Micky in the building. What's up, y'all?
What's up, man?
It's a pleasure, guys.
Thank you for having us, man.
Thank you for having
us. So, I mean, the first thing I gotta ask, is there a reason you're sitting between these two? Because I watched to a point where I felt like there was maybe tension between these two.
Nah, not at all.
It's the devil and the angel, right?
Well, I know the movie, without giving up too much, it's very realistic, and I don't know if it's just me, but I've met so many different like musicians and artists, and especially like I kind of came up interviewing a lot of up and coming talent, like kids that came from the internet era.
Right.
And this movie like perfectly depicts it. Like it seems like a joke, but like in real life, it kind of seems like a joke.
Yeah,
like,
right. Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, no, when we were pitching the movie, like we were taking it to studios or taking it to different people and production companies or producers, and they're like, yo, why would we care about this? I'm like, there's millions and millions and millions of streams happening, you know what I'm saying? And there's, I mean, even on, you know, not only the millions and millions of streams, like real life shit is happening, you know what I'm saying? People are dying, people are getting hurt, people are getting robbed. So it's really relevant, but nobody saw it. So we were just like, all right, you know what? We'll just get it done. You know what I'm saying?
For real. And I think the reason I asked for people who haven't seen the movie yet is like every artist has a best friend. Every artist has a label. Sometimes the best friends do more damage to the artist than the label does, and vice versa.
Right. Yeah.
But in this particular instance, you guys each had very realistic roles. What was like the inspiration behind all of that? Like, I mean, how do you kind of get into character for this? Do you talk to like a lot of rappers that are just self-destructing, like?
well, for mine, like I'm actually close to Geo in real life, so
okay.
just to see what not only what his character is going through, you know, but I get to play. I like to play the voice of reason.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it wasn't more of getting into a character, actually more of just like actually seeing what's going on, seeing someone actually get lost in their own sauce, which is what you see a lot of that in LA. You know what I mean? You see it, you know. So it's like. So to play a character where you see a close friend actually going through that, it's you genuinely care, you know what I mean? So that was it from my perspective. It was just that.
And for Micky, I mean, I know you do a lot in the music industry. I mean, you've been on some shows. Was that character somebody that like maybe you've met along the way, or?
You know, that's what I say. I said it's funny because I've actually been on the opposite scale of dealing with somebody like that.
Well, you played it well, bro. You killed it, dude.
Channeled it.
Yeah.
I just, you know, so many of us up-and-coming artists, we deal with people that might promise you things and never deliver, or not even from my story, just, you know, I do music, so working with other people and then be like, man, I got screwed in this situation, or oh man, so I just try to really take those, my personal life experiences, my friends' life experiences, people I just, and then just shit, can I cuss?
Yeah, of course.
Shit, you motherfucking know. And just make it into just a grimy character, but at the same time, you know, try to make him somewhat like, all right, wait, is he trying to be his friend? So, you know.
Well, you're so likable. Like for all the people that kind of play that role in real life, like you're on the more likable side of like, yeah, this is a cool kid. He's gonna shoot this video for $500,000.
You can actually trust him. You're like, I'll trust him.
Like, you know, maybe he's onto something. He seems like he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
You got it. I mean, because you never know. That's the funny thing about life is, I mean, well, that obviously that's a little over the top of what we did there, not to give anything away. But in real life, there's people that have done some amazing things like that. I mean, iPhones, editing certain stuff. Like, you know, if you don't have a budget to do certain things you want to do, you do have to get creative. You do have to. I mean, in our standpoint in the movie, I mean, you know, it wasn't that. But so you never know. And I always say this, especially even about my own music. It's very easy to sell a dream to somebody who's trying to buy one. You know what I mean? If I'm looking to buy a dream and you're like, you know, and you are good and you believe in yourself, then you're like, oh, this is my break. You're thinking, you're feeling the stars are aligning at this time when it's like, no, you're just really being hopeful.
What's it like being on the acting side and as an artist yourself? Do people take the artistry as serious when you do acting? Do people take the acting as serious when you're an artist?
I don't know. I don't really run into that, probably because I've been doing music a long time and I've wrote songs with people and putting out my own music. I think people probably know I've done music before acting, but the crazy thing is I always wanted to be an actor when I was younger until I started writing music. Then that's kind of, I was like, that the switch flipped and I was like, you know what, maybe this is my passion. And then I just was like, I don't know which one's my passion. I just like to entertain. I always felt like I don't really consider myself a musician. I consider myself an artist because I feel like I like to write and I like to entertain. So you put that together and you have an artist.
Well, it felt very genuine. Like it definitely felt like you guys have all been friends before this. But where did the process for the movie start? Like Geo, what was the idea and like why select the people that you select to play all these roles?
Well, I mean, I worked with Mickey before. We did an Amazon series together. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I knew Mickey. And then obviously knowing he was doing music, obviously knowing that he's in this world. You know what I'm saying? And I came to him. I rolled up on him one day. I was like, yo, I got an idea. I want to pull up. And he's like, what? I was like, I want to do this music, this and that. And Mickey was like, all right, cool, let's do it. You know what I mean? And I was like, all right, I'm gonna come like, you know, in a few weeks with the script. And he's like, all right. And I came a few weeks with a script. And then he's like, all right, whatever. And then it was like, I was like, yo, in 2 weeks we're gonna do this. And he's like, all right, whatever. Sure enough, like 2 weeks we did it. I mean, it was a long process because, you know, the thing about it wasn't only like just shooting the movie. What I ended up finding out, because, you know, the style of the movie not only plays like a documentary, it's also a music movie. It's also a narrative. You know what I'm saying? So you got 3 elements of it. So what I didn't realize was when we're doing this concept, like, okay, we could do it. And I was like, oh shit, there's a lot of elements. I mean, we're renting Lamborghinis and it's like we're shooting them for 5 seconds and they're like 5 seconds in the shot. We're like, whoa, we just blew a Lambo. And it wasn't even a whole day that we got. We got to use it for a day, but it wasn't that we got to shoot it for a day. So it was cool, but it was like finding that process where we ended up finding out that we had to build the world. You know what I'm saying? Every music video we had to shoot, every little element we had to shoot. So for me, where it came from was like, I'm a lover of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? I just love music. I love hip hop. Hip hop's been, I mean, I started making beats. That's how I started as a kid. I started making beats from the MPC 3000 to SP 1200 to like playing with stuff. And you know, when I started marrying music and film and I started seeing these directors, so I was like, yo, as a kid I was like, oh, I want to direct these music videos. And so this is my first music film. It was just my first love letter to hip hop. And I was like, you know, coming up, you know, I come from the Nas and Jay-Z era and that whole time, you know what I'm saying? And looking at that and seeing hip hop morph, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then looking at going from artistry of substance to attention seeking, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, there's a story here. And then I was like, I've seen all these different archetypes come around, you know what I mean? All these different characters. And, you know, in 2018, at the beginning of 2018, I started I really developed this idea that was developing in 2017 and 18. I started writing it. And in April of 18, I was done with the script, and, you know, we started shooting in August, you know what I mean?
I gotta say, too, it's interesting, because I know people say that it's like after kind of a 6ix9ine, which is more new age, but at the same time, in 2017, I feel like that was the very beginning of like the parody videos on like TikTok and like maybe not even TikTok, on Instagram of like.
I don't even think TikTok
wasn't even around.
TikTok wasn't around.
On Instagram.
Yeah,
like,
it was Vine at that point, and it was like, and I was seeing it. But I mean, even like it was just getting fascinating because like a lot of things were happening, right? Like we had a troll for president. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like it was
Real.
a lot of shit was happening that was so interesting, and we were looking at a whole era and a whole world changing. I'm like, yo, you can't write this shit. You know what I mean? And you know, even I think one of the first cuts I had a show that I did on Amazon, and I showed the movie to the producer, and he's like, "This is ridiculous. Nobody's gonna believe this." And I'm like, "Yo, real life is more ridiculous." And when I started showing him like, you know, different interviews and different things, he was like, "Oh shit, like this is crazy." And so that's where the inspiration came out. It's the love of hip hop, watching things that change. And again, touching on different bases, because it's not only about hip hop, it's also about the internet and how internet has changed all the businesses, from modeling to music to like internet has changed all the industries. You know what I'm saying? From music to everything.
It changed what fame is, right?
Yeah, and it changed. You know what I'm saying? It changed what fame is too.
Yeah.
That's 100% what celebrity really means. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, that's a big thing. Like, I think the fame and clout conversation, like Drake has the line, is like, "Bitch, this is fame, not clout." And
Right.
like the way that the film kind of covers a lot of different aspects of it, because he does reach a level of fame, but he also is like a kid that starts out kind of just trying to get clout, doing like pranks and stuff.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, to complement it, I think with the real life of like you being the best friend that's kind of more level-headed, and like you can kind of tell that you have his best interest. I think there's a lot to that also, because like, you know, people see what they see on the internet, but all these kids have real friends in real life that aren't viral like that.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
yeah, and it's society never sees like what's really happening to the you know, to the Instagrammer, or to like what's really going on in that apartment. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
and there's some, you know, these people are living real life things. You know, it's not all. It's not all like the selfie. You know, have you guys seen the documentary Fake Famous?
No,
That's out right now.
You said so fake famous?
Yeah, have you seen that? It's a new documentary out right now, and it just it pretty much they take 3 random people with no followers, and they're just like buying all their followers, and and then they're just like slowly making this person become
A persona.
this persona, and they're just showing you how they can just create fame. You know what I mean? I don't know, and yeah, just to see that and to see how their life actually, how they start believing it themselves, even though they know it's fake, they're believing it. You know, it's a really good documentary. It's fucking nuts. But anyways, I can see that with Little Tito and what's happening. You know, you start believing your own shit, man, and that's when you get lost.
Yeah.
That's when you get really lost.
What was it like pitching this to people, like to invest in the film, and like how do you put all that together? Because I think a lot of people that have like money per se, like I do a lot of influencer marketing and stuff, and it's hard to explain to people that like are advertisers or would invest in things, like what the internet even is, let alone what trolling is and like clout is.
I mean, for me, it was just impossible, because the thing is, like, nobody, you know, when you go, like, the music industry kind of got it, but the music industry has their own struggles. Like, it feels like, and also this story is a little bit of like a tall tale about the music industry, the things that you should watch, like, you know, and again, not to get into a lot of real stories. I have friends who do a lot of music videos, who produce big music videos, who produce, and they just, you know, these executives who are just taking advantage of these artists who, you know, your kid, because to be honest with you, like, some of these kids are not necessarily, they're genius in their way. You know what I'm saying? It's not stupid. Like, it's crazy, because here's the thing, there's now something very to be said about overnight celebrity, because now you could be an overnight celebrity. Before, you had to like work, you had to pop, something had to happen, and then overnight you started feeling that fame come. But right now, like, look at Little Pump. You could be sitting in your crib, you can make a little beat, comes out, it goes viral. Tomorrow you're a superstar. It's at least in your head or in your world or in your vicinity. You know what I'm saying? So it was very difficult to have people like in Hollywood or people like in the movie system understand this world, which is kind of a niche or kind of a situation, but you know, at the end of the day, the numbers are crazy. The world is crazy. You know what I'm saying? You know, you have millions and billions of streams and millions of people watching these kids.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I love most about the movie, is just like, it's to what prevailed. You know, like, not to name drop crazy, but I was with like No Jumper earlier. He interviewed Riley Reeves, like porn star girl, and she was talking about like sleeping with Little Pump, and she's like, well, he could never, I don't think he has it in him to love anybody. Like, and I think a lot of these kids lose themselves to the attention, to the fame, and like, I mean, the fact that the way Mickey put it across in the movie brought the lawyer in, I guess, where he's like, you want money? You want girls from all over the place? Like, it's a real thing. But I mean, what would you say, like, was getting the lesson across in this a priority at all, or?
I mean, it wasn't a priority. It's to me, it's just basically a character study. You know what I'm saying? And we just look at it like, you know what I'm saying. We could see all tales because, in all reality, right? I know a lot of people who got millions and millions of followers.
Yeah.
But they living in a really 1-bedroom apartment. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, the money's not really that hot. You know what I'm saying? But in the outside world, you look at their lives and you think it's amazing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And part of it, like, you know, I even touched on it on the female side, where the one girl, like the manager, she's like, because you can't get people to like your photos, how are you gonna get them to like you? But that was just thinking about it because I was dealing with, you know, I shot this Facebook series, and literally there was this girl, and it was just like, you know, and not to get too personal, but there was a dark world there. Like she could sing, she was beautiful. You would think this girl had the world, and meanwhile her life is really dark. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't want to get into it because it's really dark. But it's like when you start seeing that. So to me, it's like there's something about, because I'm a fan of these kids who are like geniuses, who are marketing geniuses, who literally just put something out, and it's you know, they're doing something without much money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That sometimes some companies, corporations that have millions of dollars can't even do. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it's like, you know, that was all the influence. So the lesson's there, but it's like, it's not like I want to pound the lesson over your head. I'm just making a character study, and I'm looking at real life situations, real characters, and see what you know, and just look at how it all turns out. You know what I'm saying?
I can't think of any other movie or anything really at all that's like it. Like, I don't see in interviews where it fully captures the big pictures. Like, so much is focused on the one kid with the followers. That to kind of see it, like, I felt like I was literally in real life, like, as if I was at the radio station interviewing somebody and their team was there, and like, that's how it was just.
It's a nice
out.
journey, right?
Yeah.
When I first saw it, I felt the same way. I'm like, wow, man, it felt real. It felt like, oh wow, it takes you on a really nice journey. I'm really, really proud of this film, man. Really, really proud of it. Yeah.
Me too. Even when Geo brought it, like, because I didn't see the film until Geo came over my house and showed me, and I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Like, because we shot it in different pieces, so like everybody kind of knew what I was trying to do, and some people were just trusting the process. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A lot of people, I think, were just trusting the process, but at the end of the day, it was like I kind of saw it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, again, it wasn't like a lot of people use the 6ix9ine reference. A lot of people use the Kodak reference. It's not about them. You know what I'm saying? Like, they do what they got to do. I think they're, you know, and again, from my generation, when they look at, like, you know, when trap rap was really huge, and like, they're like, oh, this shit is, or the mumble rap or everything. It's like everybody's like, as generations go, oh, this music's garbage. Well, the thing is, you got so many artists coming out. It's like, some of it is, some of it's good, but I mean, there's a talent in being able to take your thing and just make it blow. Whether and you produced it, you know. I have a friend, you know what I'm saying, he manages a kid, he's rich, millionaire now. The first huge hit. Do you wanna just tell him?
Oh,
okay. The first huge hit he had, he bought that beat for $100.
Wow.
And became a millionaire for $100 beat.
Wow.
That he bought off of SoundCloud.
At least he bought it. Like,
some people steal it, right?
Yeah. Well, they end up like in situations. I think that's the thing too. Is like, that's why I say it's the way you set it up is perfect, because there are circumstances where it's like the label comes in and is disingenuous, or the friend comes in and is disingenuous, and it's like hard for kids to kind of figure out the right way to go about it, and it just becomes this thing where it's like, all right, we just want followers and clicks and views. I did want Micky's take on it, like actually being an artist and seeing, like, you know, how things evolve, and especially to see a kid like this that becomes a success overnight. You see it in real life all the time. What's your take on that? And also, how do your agents look at you now that you played this role, and they're like, is this what he thinks about us?
At the end of the day, you got, like Geo said, it's like you got to have a respect. Things happen in life, and you can't really wonder, okay, maybe it takes me 10 years to become an overnight success, like they say, and then maybe this kid put out a song. But no matter what, it's like, I'm a firm believer in God, so it's like, things just happen when they're supposed to happen, and you just have to take those lessons and learn from them. And I mean, I don't know, I will see how people feel about it after, but it's like, you know, I'm acting, so it's not like, you know, this is my perception on it. But these are things, what I think is great about the movie is these are underlying things that everybody knows. They're not secrets.
Well,
you
I
have to
don't
be a
know.
fool. You know.
I feel like people that are in the industry would know, but if you guys were to do a movie like this with someone who's trying to become an actor, like I know music, so I've seen it from that perspective.
Right.
I think maybe like it was what was so appealing about Entourage, maybe.
Right,
but,
right.
Favorite show.
So yeah, I mean, I got kind of that vibe, but more with the music spin. But I don't know if everybody knows. Like, I think people look at like Lil Pump like he's super lit and doesn't realize he's like slightly damaged inside to some extent.
Right. Well, I mean, the thing is, like, think about it too. There's one thing too also in the film, right? And you see the rise and fall, and it's looking like the thing is when you do one thing and you got a hit doing one thing, you don't know how to do another thing. And then the thing about like when you're coming up as an artist, like when Cube or like when other artists had to come up, they had to go to the studio and meet somebody. They had to spit for them. They had to get rejected. They had to be told no. So when you have somebody who blew up their own shit in their bedroom and they were never told no, the minute the internet rejects them, that's devastating. That's life devastating.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, it's hard when somebody when you don't lose. So when you don't lose, because you coming up as an athlete, you get bumped, you get hurt, you get in the game, and that's what makes you strange. Yeah.
They don't got no those lessons that you have to learn when you take a couple L's and you know how to prepare for the wins and stuff.
Yeah, that's real.
This is like anybody else in life. Like you got two roads in life. You could be a rich kid and not have no milk in your house, and like that's a real problem to you, which might not be a problem to somebody else. But one thing about life is you can't tell anybody how to fight their battle.
Yeah.
Because everybody intakes things different. You know what I mean? So that's like the scary thing about it, and I think that's why the film depicts it in such a good way. Even like my favorite part of the film is like the last thing with the mom talking.
Right. Which we don't want to give away.
Yeah.
Even that dynamic too, though. I think the way even in the beginning with the way that it just starts with the parents. You know what I mean? It's a lot of people don't even look at that. Like not for nothing. Even you guys just explaining like you're not seeing the full film until he actually puts it together. Like I would think that everybody that's in the film knows exactly everything about it.
No, this is based off of pure trust, man. Yeah.
There's so many little details that I think people don't realize until it's presented in the way you presented it.
Well, I mean, we did a table read. Like we knew the basis of what the film was on, but you know, until you physically, it's like attack another one of your senses. We're reading something, we're hearing it, then to visually see it
with the music, with everything.
It makes it come together in a different way. Like if you was to hear audio and then see the video.
Yeah.
Oh wow, this video just made it come alive that much more.
Pulls in full circle.
Right.
Was there anything that didn't make the film? Like I know a lot of times there's outtakes and stuff like that. Was there any crazy ish that you guys were like?
Yeah, 100%. We had one scene where they did a prank on a homeless man, and it was like, this is a little too cold. This is a little too cold. There was some envelopes pushed a little too far that we were like, you know what, maybe not. You know.
Were they like gonna do at the end? We never did.
Yeah, there's one scene we were gonna do at the end, which actually that was kind of cool. It was like a revolve scene, but again, we don't want to give anything away. But no, like I mean, there's a lot of things. I mean, the original cut was like a minute 45, but there was like an hour 45. So it was like we cut a lot of things that just either didn't move because the movie's just so fast paced. It was like, all right, like we didn't have time to slow down, and there was so many things that were going in. Like I said, there's. You know, you're shooting a music video that we have to shoot a whole day. We went out to the desert, shot a whole music video. We got cranes, we got everything going on, and that's like 3 minutes, like maybe 2 minutes in the movie. You know what I'm saying? So it's all those things. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that did make it.
Yeah, well, I was thinking there's probably so many because kids go viral in a million different ways. Like even stuff with homeless, like you know they film themselves giving homeless food. But I do love the parts you pick. You picked something even from an interview I did at Hot 97 with Mike Ruga. I was like, I'm gonna die, my man's gonna die for me. I mean, you spun it.
So the funny thing is, like, I saw, because like I was telling my man Justin too, like we was in the car, I was coming from the gym and I saw that interview, and the thing that was so funny about that was Homeboy's reaction. You know what I'm saying? Like the Homeboy's reaction, everybody's like, yo, look at his face. So when
that wasn't planned at all, by the way. That like we did that.
That was real.
That was real as fuck.
Wow.
And by the way, we did the same. I never told him that wasn't in the script. We had the interview, so I wanted to catch him, and I did it. So I was like, yo. So everybody's sitting, and actually, my boy Scotty, who's actually a good friend of ours too, that's in the film. He's the one who's sitting on the right hand of me when I do it. And we just did a film together, but it was funny too because everybody's sitting down. We have the script, the points. We have Jay Rhythm, who's a DJ who we know because does the whole thing, and so he has his own he has his own dance show. So he's like, yo, let's do it during this dance show. He's doing it, so they don't know nothing. And I'm like, yo, right after, I'm like, yeah, so you know, my man, we gotta do what we gotta do. We hustlers, you know what I'm saying? So my man gotta suck a dick. He's gotta suck a dick. So like, they're like all caught off guard. They're all caught, and he's caught off real. That was a real moment. And if you see my other homeboy Ray next to me, is like he's trying not to laugh, but he's like, damn, he plays it all, but like, I can't believe he just said that, which worked out perfectly.
It was brilliant, bro. It's so hilarious, dude.
Not for nothing, Mike Ruger's in LA this week. He asked me if I'd rent a car, and I was like, I'll die for you, but I won't rent a car for you at all.
Yeah.
So with the movie coming out, I mean, what's the date on it, and how can people like find it? And what do you want people to really take from it? Like,
movie comes out March 2nd, and it comes out everywhere. All your VOD platforms: Amazon, Apple, Vudu, Comcast, Spectrum. There's check your local, any VOD, whatever cable station you got, check it. It's there. It's coming out all the U.S. and Canada, Fandango, YouTube, everywhere. It's at Google Play, everything. So it's everywhere. March 2nd. What I want people to take away, I just want people to enjoy the movie, and then it's like I said, like it's just a case study. It's like you know how we see documentaries. I have to say it. These are real kids going through real struggles. Some of them, you know, Little Tito is one situation. There's other situations, and sometimes it's like, you know, you gotta like, you know, one thing about the character, if I looked at personally at a Little Tito, I think he's a clown.
Yeah.
Like even like watching the movie, my feelings for him was different. I was like, you know, a lot of people were like, dude, you know what I'm saying? Because you humanize the situation. And you know, and that's the thing, is like we see all these cats and they're, you know, they're, like I said, whatever you feel about their music or you feel about their tactics, but you know, there's also one other thing I wanted to say too about this movie that I think as an artist or somebody who cares about filmmaking or somebody who cares about music or somebody, it's like, it's substance over attention. You know what I'm saying? I feel like right now it's attention over substance.
Yeah, I mean, I think longevity is a big part of it. Like I use like Jack Harlow, I think is a good example.
Right.
Of like a kid who just relentlessly made the music he wanted to make, and ended up being now in a place where he's doing videos with like DaBaby and Lil Wayne, but it takes longer. And I mean, I'm sure it's the same with filmmaking and anything. Is like the more time you put in, the better the relationships are. I think I always say it's how you're seen, it's not where you're seen.
It's like Russ, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you
Great
respect.
example.
I respect Russ a lot because it's like, yo, he makes the beats, he makes the music, he engineers, he muses, and he's like, you know, people want to say like, yo, I think he's a little cocky, or I've even heard him say, I was like, I get it, you know what I'm saying? When you kind of like you're just focusing on your product and you want to perfect it as much as you possibly can in this day and era where somebody's like, yo, this is good enough, we can throw it out, you know what I'm saying? I respect those artists, you know what I'm saying, a lot.
So now that the movie's scheduled, you know, everything's shot, produced, ready to go, what are you guys individually working on? Is it back to, are you guys working on another movie? Is it back to...
I'm currently working on a show called The Connors. It's like the spin-off of Roseanne.
Okay, fire.
Yeah, man, that's been good. It's like it's a sitcom, you know.
All right.
And so it's
ABC.
And you're acting in it?
Yeah,
Awesome.
I'm an actor in it. Yeah.
Fire.
Yeah, man, I've been doing that. Been on that show now for about 3 years.
Good stuff.
Yeah, it's been fun. That takes up most of my time.
All right. Yeah. And so, I mean, you find time to do the movies together, or is that like...
You always find time. I'd rather do this than anything else. You know what I mean? Like, for me, it's always been, you know, I want to end up doing film. You know what I mean? So now that the brothers are all doing films together, what? That's like that's a dream come true, brother. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Awesome. How about yourself?
I just shot a movie in January. It's another feature film, so it's a thriller, a little bit way different than this. It's not a comedy. It's a dark movie, and it's another brother of ours who, Scotty, the dude who plays it, he's the lead. You know what I'm saying? And he's amazing in it. The movie's really dark. We still got more stuff to shoot, so we're in post. So that probably come out not by the end of this year or early next year. You know what I'm saying?
And I know you have the restaurant Salsa, right?
I got the restaurants. I had a bar. You know what I'm saying? I'm just doing different business stuff. You know what I'm saying?
He's a busy man. Right here. The fact that
and the soundtrack comes out on February 26th.
Awesome.
The soundtrack comes out on February
I
26th.
should ask Mickey. I mean, did you work on the soundtrack? I'm sure.
Yeah.
And what are you working on now? Is it back to like music yourself?
Yeah. I got, man, you know, a couple things. Some nice placements coming out.
Sounds just like cocaine.
I got 2 projects coming out. One's called Gigi's Tape, the other one's called Dead Roses. And then I start filming for Love and Hip Hop again.
Awesome.
In like a month.
What's the love in hip hop like? Because I have my friend Drewski is on the New York one, and he's like, it's madness. Like when you do love and hip hop, it's like it's more like TV than it is music. But
you know what's crazy though? Everybody was shocked because they said I have more music looks in my first season than people had in 7 seasons. I just really kept it very true to myself. Like I'm not gonna sit up there and argue with people randomly for no reason. Plus, like I'm one of the only people. I'm one of the only people on the show that's like really from LA too. So it's like I'm not really like gonna sit here and argue with you. Not to be like tough guy or nothing, but they just kind of knew. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, I just kept it true to myself. So I didn't really have to deal with like that. And I brought like my girl that was on there before, she's like a supermodel, so it's like they were so excited that she was willing to do it as well. They kind of kept me away from it, like
fire, let you be yourself.
Yeah. So I shout out everybody at VH whenever I come. I mean, I had a good time. Like I didn't really have any drama, and I like everybody on the show too. Like I got along with everybody.
It's amazing.
Maybe I need some drama.
I think it's so dope.
Cocaine Tony, somebody.
Cocaine Tony, my spare time. But I think it's so dope. Like the fact that the movie's coming out like that. Even when the movie goes crazy and you guys get bought and it's like a whole thing, that you're actually doing things that you enjoy doing, behind the scenes. Because I think a lot of people, and you see it a little bit in the movie, like they do things to kind of fit the mold of like what entertainment is said to be, right. And they're not necessarily always able to be genuine in themselves. And the fact that you guys are all friends, you were able to put this together, like you feel that energy in the actual movie. It felt like you guys were having a lot of fun filming it. And I'm super excited for people to see it, man, for real.
Thank you.
But yeah, thanks so much for coming by today. After the Rain is out, March 2nd.
March 2nd.
Thank you guys so much. You know the vibes. Hip Hop Mike here, Savant, Unlimited, downtown LA. I believe we're downtown, right? Yeah. I'm a New York guy. Until next time. Yeah, thank you guys so much, for real.
Dope,
y'all are cool as hell. For real.